Welcome, everyone. May all sentient beings be happy. May they be safe and may they be free from suffering. In the name of God, welcome to Conversations at the Peace Table. My name is Soraya Dean. I started this podcast really for myself, to keep me in check, to remind myself that as to who am I? And where do I come from? Where do I fit in all what is happening around us in this world? I come from the land of the Buddhas and the Gandhis, a legacy they gave to us that is rooted in nonviolence and compassion and courage. And yet, like many of us, I navigate a world filled with noise, filled with division and deeply held pain. So this space is my commitment to pause, to reflect, and to engage differently. Because I believe this really deeply, that we don't move forward by talking louder, we move forward by listening better. In Conversations at the Peace Table, we will explore conversations not only as a way to navigate conflict, but as a doorway into something larger. What it means to be human together. And our goal is not to resolve disagreement, but rather to model a different kind of conversation, one that is honest about pain and complexity, candid about differences, and grounded in shared values. And I don't think we should compare pain. That will be a long journey for us. We must examine our choices. And I believe there's a time to feel the weight of things, and there's a time to sit back and to embrace the joy. With us today to teach and to share some of these principles will be Manda Apt. He has been a program manager for Shell's Game Changer Social Innovation Program. He's a scientist. He's a founder and executive director of Cities for Peace, developing civic leaders across the world to actively promote peace and compassion. Some examples of his organization's portfolio are the Los Angeles City, the county, Washington, D.C., and Cyprus. And I know full well this summer he is going further to Europe. Producer and director of From India with Love, a documentary film that is used in American schools to promote peace, nonviolence, and mental well-being and education. And I must tell you, I started watching this movie and I could not stop. I sat there, I think, closer to an hour, and I watched every little detail of it. And it was so important for me because it carried powerful messages of transformation. Because I believe self-realization, self-actualization, and self-examination is very critical. So Manda has also been, or he is the advisor to the UN Peace Building Office Special Project, Role of Private Sector for Youth Leading Peace Building.
Peace building.
Welcome, Manda. I'm so pleased you're in India and I'm here in Los Angeles. And thanks for all the technology we have. I'm so glad I know you had a very long day. You were helping somebody at least 11 p.m. there, and still you made time for me. I'm really grateful. Manda, why does a business executive at Shell gets involved in peace building?
So before that, before answering that question, I really congratulate you for the world is spinning and it's out of control sometimes. And what you have chosen to do is not be part of that spinning, but keep yourself grounded and be an anchor literally an anchor of this podcast, but also anchored because these conversations can make hearts move. And every conversation that you are putting out there is a gift in these turbulent times. So, pat on your back.
Oh, thank you, Manda. It's a journey. Thank you. And it's only with people like you who can pull us back, ground us in this realization that we will get to the peak.
Yeah, but Soraya, I think the little bit that I know, I just got started. You have been doing this for decades.
Oh,
So don't be modest. I have the highest regard for you.
thank you so much.
Coming back to the question that you asked. So yes, I am a executive, used to run Shell's innovation program, used to travel 200 days a year, trying to look for the next big thing and invest in that entrepreneurial idea. Uh, However, it's like many people, we can smile and show things are okay, but behind that smile could be some pain, some trauma, some disappointment, and we put a smile as a facade. So in my Shell journey, also, where as a petroleum engineer 25 years ago, I went through a mob attack in Nigeria. I was working as a petroleum engineer on a remote oil and gas field, and suddenly a whole village came with swords and sticks and chased us, and we barely escaped in a military truck. And as a 25-year-old young petroleum engineer, I didn't do anything to these people, but I was working for the industry. So this event remained in my consciousness because these are life transforming events, and you can't just forget them by drinking or going on a holiday or reading a book. They're called post traumatic stress events. The trauma already happened, but it keeps coming back as flashes. So, as an engineer or any technically trained professional, we are trained in technical competence. For example, I'm trained in designing pipelines, drilling oil and gas wells, but I was not trained in how to fix myself. When the system breaks, but the system is you, I didn't know how to fix. I think that was my turning point, 2001, that maybe there is a purpose for this event. And that is when it started my own journey of healing, transformation. And as that agent, can I be inside the shell company and be a candlelight for invoking other people also to think about their purpose, etc., etc. So that was my starting point. How
Mm,
I became a peace builder, Soraya, is it's not just at you click and you become a peace builder. No, it started with my exposure to violence, my experience of first working on myself,
mm,
then realizing that, hey, I need to contribute to a better world. So teaching meditative practices. Fast forward 2016, uh, what I realized is through an incident that happened to a friend of mine at gunpoint in Texas, he was told to leave the country. And that's when he told this story to me, I felt everything we are watching on television, gun violence, shootings, racism, it's no longer the news story. It's in my home, my best friend.
mm,
And what am I doing about this? Am I just waiting for it to happen to me? Maybe then I will do something. So that's when I realized, Soraya, that just doing yoga meditative practices for your well being is not enough. We need to take this message of healing to people who actually need it.
mm,
For example, if somebody has had an exposure to gun violence or homicide, naturally that person will be in pain for losing their husband, daughter, son, nephew. And if that pain is not healed, naturally you would feel, I want to take revenge.
Mm,
So, unhealed trauma can lead to either or aggression, depression or aggression. And
mm,
that is the peace that people are seeking, is how to be centered. So, as a peace builder, what I realized is I would like to test whether this approach of inner peace for outer peace, who will value it? People
mm.
who are divided, people who are polarized. So that is where I started using meditative practices to hold healing circles. And I brought people who are opposites. They are not going to hang out with each other like real life Tom and Jerry.
Right.
So that's the beginning of when I started applying these Eastern, you can say, principles to social challenges. For example, gang neighborhoods. We brought opposite gang members and police officers in LA in the same room and holding the space. We became a bridge between the two sides that usually don't hang out.
Mm,
But as they meditate, as they do interesting processes like mural paintings, writing spoken word poetry, they develop compassion, or actually, they don't even develop, they realize that they have compassion. And compassion makes you feel the pain of the other. It doesn't matter what skin color you are or what uniform you wear. And once that compassion is unleashed, then miracles can happen.
mm.
So that's a long answer to why a Shell executive, through his own journey, is now
Wow.
into the world of peace.
So, Mandir, you say, I heard you say this, peace is our nature, love is our nature. And have we forgotten this? Why, why are we so divided if that is our nature?
So I will just say that I heard this for the first time 25 years ago from my meditation teacher, Sri Ravi Shankar. He goes by the honorific title Gurudev.
Mm,
I heard it from him
mhm,
and other things also. For example, he said, what's the first act of living when you're born? Breathing in. What's the second act of living? He asked me. Crying.
mm,
Then he said, what's the last act of living? When you live and almost die, what's the last act? I said, breathing out. So he said, and hopefully other people will cry. And if nobody cries, Mandar, what's the value of your life?
mm.
So, coming back to your question, peace is your nature and it's common sense. For example, Soraya, have you been angry sometime?
Yes.
Of course, you're human. Have
Mm,
you been upset?
very much.
Yes. Frustrated?
Yes.
Sad?
Yes.
Feeling crushed?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So we have all had these emotions. You can call them negative emotions.
Mm,
I have had it also. This is what the engineer in me analyzes. When I'm angry, do I say, yes, man, I became angry today? No. When I'm sad, do I say, wow, dude, I felt sad today? No. What do we say? Soraya, I'm feeling sad. I need some time. This is the clue that sadness is not my nature. Peace is my nature. I want to go back to my nature. Otherwise, people would have enjoyed being sad.
mm,
So it's practical. Peace is your nature. And when you are not in that space of peace, you don't feel good.
mm.
Like, for example, the nature of fire is to go up,
Mm.
the nature of water is to flow down.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Similarly, the nature of a human being is joy, happiness,
Mm.
peace, love, compassion is our nature.
Mm.
Now, I think what happens is uh, a word called trauma, and it's not that complicated to understand. For example, I used to love to play cricket when I grew up. So, for example, imagine Mandar is playing cricket. Next day is the exam, but Mandar has spent the whole day playing cricket and he won the championship. So he comes home, says, Daddy, won the game. Daddy says, tomorrow is your exam. Who's going to study? All I wanted was just one word of praise. I didn't get it.
Mm.
Instead, I got a beating. So, trauma is not always bad things that happen to you. It could also be good things that never happened.
Mm. True,
And
true,
it accumulates and accumulates and accumulates, and then suddenly it blows up.
true, true. I
And
think,
it happens to everyone, it happens to me also. So, that is the personal responsibility to make sure that when we sleep at night, we drop all our judgments, inhibitions, sadness into some container. You can offer it to the divine or whatever, keep it in your box and sleep peacefully. That's our responsibility.
mm,
For that, you don't need anybody.
true,
Yeah,
true.
that's a simple practice everybody can do.
Yeah, have this box,
Is
visualize this box and put it in
nobody is
simple.
nobody is responsible for my peace of mind.
Mm,
I am responsible for my peace of mind.
yeah,
How do I deal with chaos outside if I don't have peace of mind?
right,
I can keep complaining about the chaos, but ownership of peace of mind is your responsibility, not other people.
true.
And it's
I think,
simple.
yes, yes. I think when you said that when you express your feelings, I feel sad, we don't do that adequately. Rather, we say, somebody else made me sad. It's always palming off the responsibility of our needs, feelings, and emotions to somebody else's wrongness. Uh,
But that's so true.
yeah.
Soraya, that's very true.
Hmm.
Of course, you made me sad.
Hmm.
I called you on your birthday, Soraya, but you never called me on my birthday.
Yes.
So, in this case, is it a sign of weakness or strength to say, I'm sad because of, due
Yes.
to? It's a sign of weakness to put your sadness on some hook.
Hmm.
It's just a change of perspective, right?
Yes.
So, yes, you should be sad that you invested so much time in Soraya's birthday, you went for a gift, you gave her a gift, all this you did. He did not wish you on your birthday.
Hmm.
It should make you sad.
Yeah.
However, my dear friend, whoever is listening, you have no idea what Soraya is going through.
That's true.
So
That's true.
maybe she was stuck in helping somebody like I was stuck today. So
Yeah.
that's why maybe she forgot to call you for your birthday.
Yeah.
That is compassion. That we should have that as our nature. That's
Yes.
our nature.
So I want to
Understanding.
bring, yes, I want to bring us to a current kind of a issue and conversation that's happening around us, Mandar. And social media amplifies hates. It it amplifies love, which is very less than, of course, the hate and divisive conversations we have now. See, yesterday I just posted on my Facebook about this Palestinian Arab Israeli woman who's running for office. And, when we look at the Middle East, we want peace. We want people to get along. We want the Palestinians to be as happy as the Jewish people living in coexistence. So I post these words from this woman, Somaya Bashir, who says she calls herself somebody who loves Israel because Israel is giving her a safe place to live. And she says The Arabs must let go of the past. And I had a tremendous amount of attacks for that. How dare you say that? Do you not know the trauma? Well, you have no knowledge of it, you know. Here I'm quoting somebody who lives in that region, who has experienced the pain, and who says we have to move along. So, what is it, this level of divisiveness? Can we ever try to understand how do we get to that state of being that you are talking about with in this level of in this kind of environment?
I'm so sorry to hear it, firstly, Soraya, because I know you a little bit for the last few months. Um, what can I say? I think people are not happy, not contented. Uh, they are in need of something they don't have. And if that's your starting point, unhappiness, all the social media bombardment and the business model of that social media company is going to feed you something that will make you mad because then you're going to talk, chat, share. That's how they are making money. That's the business model. I think that we are being made a fool. So the way to do this is through, I would say, greater education
Mm,
on also media literacy. That I'm listening to this, whatever, CNN or Fox or whatever you believe in. Is that a paid program? Who's paying for the news?
mm,
And let's assume that what they are saying is true, okay? What's the absolute other side of the story? So, for example, in America, CNN, Fox. You will be amazed that they talk about the same story but a complete different lens.
true.
That should make you wonder, what's the real story?
Mm,
And that mostly will be middle paths.
mm,
If you don't curate your own intelligence, your own consciousness to think like this, obviously you're going to be swayed in CNN or Fox.
mm.
And once you like a post, you're going to get more of those posts.
I,
So coming back to the trolling and the people who troll, um, education is the only way, and that means we have to reach the people who need this education of inner well-being, compassion.
mm,
And what I feel we should do is stories. We have to tell more stories
mm,
that, for example, hey, you know what? We brought LA gangsters and police together. You say, what? So, yeah,
mm,
look at the video. It's there.
true.
We brought Muslims in Cyprus and Christians in Cyprus in a peace building program. Are you kidding me? Really?
Mm.
So, those stories are like lighthouses.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's the lighthouse that we have to keep working on
Yes, yes.
because
And
that's the only way to preserve sanity. People are looking for good stories. You have to believe in this.
yes,
If you believe that nobody is looking for good stories, then that's not the right starting point.
right, right.
You
So
have to
going back
believe that
to
people
yeah,
are looking for good stories and I want to be part of the solution.
yes, yes. Going back to my question and my experience, I didn't choose to play victim. I saw
What did
three.
you do?
Uh,
Huh.
I saw this coming at me. I saw three people. You know, there was fear, there was hatred, and there was something that love was missing. So I didn't choose to respond. I held that space for them to vent. And on that topic, you have said, pay attention to these three important emotions: fear, hatred, and love. And you said to flip it. Can you tell us something about that in your movie?
Uh, Again, it's not what I said. It's known that we have these energy centers.
Hmm.
Energy centers where emotions are stored. There is a very beautiful book on this scientific research done called Molecules of Emotion.
Hmm.
It's a scientist at North Carolina State University. She spent her whole life doing research on measuring negative emotions and where are they stored. And what she found is that there are seven locations in your body where these negative emotions are stored the most.
Mm.
And if you now look at the Eastern wisdom, they talk about seven chakras, seven places where energy is gets stored. So, scientifically proven that yes, negative emotions get stored in our DNA, and that means there is a way to fix it also. So, the way to fix it, according to whatever my experience, is let's talk about the heart. The heart chakra, this center, when you are in love, you feel it.
Mm.
Okay, when you have fear, let's say you're going in an alley and it's dark, you hold your hand like this, right? And hatred, if you think too bad about somebody, you'll also feel some warmth here in the heart. So that means the heart is a storage of three types of emotions: fear, hatred, love.
Mm.
The science of transformation is that if you look and observe the negative emotion changes to its own positive counterpart.
Mm.
So that's why Buddha said, come sit, observe. What is he trying to say? He's trying to say, according to me again, that you can transform your emotions by
Mm.
just observing. And it's our common sense that whenever we sit quiet, take a few deep breaths, our mind changes. So that is the science we have to educate people that
Mm.
there is a healthy way to get over your negative emotions.
Right, right.
Not drinking, smoking, hitting someone,
Yes,
because those are all mechanisms to show that you are not happy.
yes. True, true.
And beating someone or speaking bad words is just a feeling that, hey, dude, you're not happy.
Mm.
And there is a simple way to be happy.
Mm.
The simple science is that whenever you have a negative emotion, Soraya, for example, anger,
Mm.
immediately you will notice that the breath changes. If you have sadness,
Yeah.
if you have anxiety,
Yes.
so this is common. This you don't have to be male or female, Indian, Pakistani, or Japanese. You don't have to be East European or West European. This is a common experience that emotions have a corresponding breathing pattern. Using breathing exercises, you can manage your own emotions. Otherwise, the emotion, anger, will make you do certain things that later on you will regret.
Mm.
My God, I'm so sorry, mom. I didn't mean to say these words, but please, I'm so sorry, mom.
Mm.
So this regret comes because the emotion, anger, made you do certain things that, of course, the other person who loves you is going to not forget.
True, true, true.
So that science is what we need to empower people with, that
Mm.
you can manage your emotions.
So
You don't have to go drink. You can
it's
just learn simple breath work.
It's like, when you grow up in the East, like in South Asia, Sri Lanka, India, our grandparents said medicine is in the kitchen, garlic, ginger, turmeric. Likewise, I think regulation and also the prescription is in our breath. And I remember, Mandar, about a decade ago, I was flipping through YouTube and I came across Gurudev, and what he taught was so profound, and since then, even before, but his message is so down to earth, doable, practical, how to manage your breath. And for me, in my practice, what I've seen is to observe the observer. Otherwise we can't get this. Before it happens, you should see the warning signs and the signals and then regulate yourself. I don't know what it has been in your journey. Can you talk about how can we regulate ourselves and how can we then play with our breath and have a conversation and subdue or change the breath? What has been the best practice for you? Because I know you work very closely with Gurudev, and your work is entirely on this bringing peace to the world.
So, when I was not aware of this science, obviously I used to cope with negative emotions. I didn't smoke, but I used to drink. I
Mm,
used to go whatever party, etc., etc. Because this science was never introduced to me that you can get over your frustration, which is normal, right? Like when you have, let's say, teenage years, college life, you may meet somebody, you may like that person, but that person might say no to you. So you might feel hurt, right? These are common experiences. All these experiences we have had. But what we have not learned is how do you not remain hurt for months, years, lifetimes? Sometimes people are stuck in that. It's like the old LP record.
I
It's stuck.
know.
So this science of observation and breath work, like I explained, the science of the breathing is so simple. I regretted it when I learned it. I felt like, man, why didn't anybody teach me?
I,
I had to come to Houston. I had to go through the Nigeria violence mob attack to learn how to breathe properly. And that is when I felt like, okay, maybe I need to pay it forward because what my guru did, I have to pay it back. Like I learned this precious knowledge. And the
mm,
best way to pay it back is to teach it forward, especially to people who need it.
yes, yes.
And I'll tell you one experience in South Central LA where I used to live. There was a homie, a brother, Jaime. His name is Jaime.
Huh,
And I taught this group of 70 Angelinos in South Central LA
wow.
uh, pranayama practice, okay? Bellows breath practice. They had never done anything like this before. So the pastor of the church opened his eyes and said, wait, are you teaching us a new religion? I felt like, okay, what should I respond? So the answer I gave is what I'm going to talk, and you be the pastor, okay? Just play that role. I said, Pastor, can you please hold your fist very tight? So do it. Make your fist tight, Soraya.
Hmm,
And Pastor, make it so tight that it should hurt you.
yeah.
And the face should go, okay? And
Hmm,
now, Pastor, close your eyes. Soraya, close your eyes. And Pastor, just do what I'm saying now, okay? Don't open your eyes. Pastor, focus on your fist and slowly open it 1 inch at a time. Slowly, Pastor, there is no hurry. Observe everything that is happening and 1 inch at a time. Slowly open your fist. Slowly, Pastor, don't be in a hurry. Slowly, slowly open, open, open. Keep your eyes closed, Pastor, and just observe. Open slowly till your palm is fully open. And when it is open, then slowly you can open your eyes, Pastor. How was your experience?
hmm. How
How was
was
your experience?
the?
So Pastor said, oh, this was good. I said, what was good? He said, just, I said, do you have any worries in your life? Of course I do. Did the worries come in your head? No. I said, that is because your mind was in the present moment with your body and feeling and your breath. That is the secret to being happy, is the mind is in the present moment.
Hmm,
That is meditation practice, is to be in the present moment. Now, now, now.
hmm.
Listening to this, the whole room clapped.
Mm.
South Central LA. They had never heard anything like this before, right? I had never spoken anything like this before also. And we do the breathing exercise then. Everybody does it. Open your eyes, everyone. Open your eyes. Jaime says these words. Jaime says, Mandar, I've been in prison 25 years. I used to feel this feeling. My mind was calm. I used to have thoughts, but I was not my thoughts, Mandar.
Mm.
Jaime said this in South Central LA, 25 freaking years in prison. I told him, don't leave because you are a meditation teacher.
Oh,
You have done this for 25 years without knowing you are meditating.
oh.
And that is how people started bonding with what I was sharing is it's healing. Meditation is for healing. And
Mm.
whoever has meditated now needs to become a teacher. So that is how I trained hundreds of these men and women in South Central LA as
Mm.
pranayama teachers.
Mm. So
And
do
that's the
you,
part of my work that I enjoy doing because these guys really value it.
I see. So this physical act of doing this and staying grounded, do you do this before you see? Now let's say I have an encounter with somebody which where life has not been as pleasant with these encounters. Do you do these practices before, or when do you come to realize this being present?
So I'm just using this as an example to show the pastor that I'm not teaching any new religion to him.
um
I'm just teaching him a way of living that you can be happy, peaceful in the present moment, even in the midst of South Central LA chaos.
mm,
So this is just an example, an activity to show that meditation is just a way of living.
mm,
And breathing exercises are the practices, not this. This is just to teach you that there is a present moment, and now breathing is in the present moment. So come, let's breathe. Is that
mm,
difference clear? We don't do this
right.
because then people will think you're holding a fist to beat them.
Okay. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
breathing exercises we do every day because we brush our teeth every day for
Right,
dental hygiene.
right.
No
The
matter
question
how
is
busy
to
you are,
ask, how are you in the
you
present?
breathe.
How are you in the present moment? Is a question we have to continue to ask ourselves, right?
Absolutely,
Yes,
100%. Because
100.
otherwise you will be regretting about the past or you'll be anxious about the future.
Mm,
And that is where it becomes your journey. Am I
right,
stuck in the past?
right.
Am I anxious about the future? If you are, then it's going to give you stress related ailments.
Mm,
So, your blood pressure, diabetes, all these are stress related ailments because you're worried, you're angry, you're anxious. That's why you should learn how to breathe properly, meditate, so that you will be stress free.
right, right, right. You
And
know,
when you are stress free, you can respond to the situation in peace,
mm, and I
not in agitation.
yeah, and I believe the more of us do that, the world will be different and will give us a different solution, right, Mandar? More of us coming
More
together
of
as
us
power.
breathing together um, is the solution to world peace.
Hmm. Right, right. So, in your movie, you talk very extensively about Dr. King. I mean, he was living in a time there was chaos, racism, and inequities, and I can't imagine what things the African Americans went through during the civil rights movement. And he came to India. He met Gandhi, and he had a transformation. And when he came back, he was very clear. He fought the fought. He didn't give up the fight, but he said non-violence should be at the root of the our agitation. So he talked and he taught about non-violent resistance. That is so powerful. And to bring it
Very powerful.
back to
Very
today,
powerful.
I saw you took a delegation of people from America, and in that was a beautiful woman who was from the Black Lives Movement. And she said the movement that began with it's a global movement, we know, right? Because fighting for police brutality and systemic racism. And it gained massive momentum here in the United States in 2020 after the murder of George Floyd by the police, and protests became a way of life with the murder of Eric Garner, Breonna Taylor, and Philando Castile. So the grievance is real. The grievance that today most people are feeling about the Palestinians, similar, I think. But she told you something so profound, Mandar, that I want to ask you. She said the movement was also full of anger and chaos. And for her coming to India, dipping herself in the Ganges, in the with the mother, with the in the river, was so meaningful. Can you tell us about that? How did she transform? How do we transform in a chaotic world? No matter what we look everywhere, there's some problem to address.
I think one answer is very simple. Spend more time with Soraya and you will be transformed.
You and I.
And add me to that list also. But yeah, I think the responsibility of who you hang out with determines what you think, what you act. So that's very important. The word is called Sangha, the
Hmm.
company you keep, especially in these turbulent times. If you keep watching CNN, watching reels, then of course you'll be depressed because they are feeding you with negative content.
You don't watch
I do watch, but I meditate every day.
selectively, okay? Because you got to be informed too, right?
Of course, you cannot
Hmm.
plug off, but I do my breath work practice. It's about a 1 hour practice. It's called Sudarshan Kriya that
Mhm.
we teach online. It's a 10-minute breathing exercise that anybody can learn. Once you do this 10 minutes, you're taken care of for the rest of the day. For example, the brushing of your own teeth you do every day for 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You don't enjoy it, Soraya. You don't go to the bathroom, put toothpaste, look at the mirror and smile, right? Look, I'm enjoying. No, it's become so mechanical. You
Yeah.
go, you turn, and
Hmm.
you move on. But however boring it is, you do it.
Yes.
That's for your dental hygiene. But we don't do anything for our mental hygiene.
Hmm.
If people agree to this, come learn some breath work. I teach online. It takes 4 days, 2 hours every day. Learn these powerful exercises that you can use your breath to delete your unwanted emotions.
Hmm.
Nobody can do it for you, my friend. Nobody can do it for you, however you love someone. Because you might smile at me, Soraya, but in your mind, you might be thinking, let him bloody fall on a banana peel.
Hmm.
You don't know what you're thinking, right?
Yes.
So cleansing your own mental cobwebs is your responsibility.
Hmm.
And only then you can engage with the world because then you will not be fooled by the world.
Yes.
You
Yes.
are centered. So centered wisdom, Buddha stood for it, and every peace messenger stands for it. You can't
Hmm.
change the world unless you change this person you are.
Hmm.
Non-violence is actually not the right word because Gandhi also did not like this word. It has two negatives,
Hmm.
non and violence. Violence is clear. Violence
Hmm.
is in three types: speech, thoughts, and actions. So you
Mm.
can be violent in these three levels. But the subtle is thoughts. Because
Yeah.
if your thoughts are not violent, your speech will not be violent. Your thoughts are not violent, your actions will not be violent.
Mm.
That's where to become non-violent or whatever peaceful, it cannot be unless your mind is peaceful. Thoughts are peaceful. Emotions are peaceful. That's where the chocolate of breathing exercises can help you live this non-violent life.
Mm. So we
So it
have
is
to take the class and learn.
because it is not about Gandhi, the person. He's gone, he's dead.
Mm.
I'll ask you something, Soraya, that I asked in a public town hall to the chief of police, San Francisco, 400 people town hall. So just imagine you are that person, and I'm asking you this question, Soraya. Soraya, tell me, will Gandhi ever carry an assault rifle,
Mm.
AK-47?
No.
Are you sure?
He said, I will die for a cause but never kill for one. Yeah.
Answer my question. Will he carry an automatic rifle around his neck, AK-47, AR-15?
No.
Is the answer yes or no?
No.
So your conviction is no, right? Your
Yes.
conviction is no. But Gandhi is dead, so we can't ask him what is your answer, correct?
Yes.
So Chief said yes. So I said, Chief, the conviction that tells you no comes from a space called Gandhi. That space is love. And that can be your grandmother. That space tells you what is the answer in this moment. What would my grandmother do if this problem comes? And so, number one, Chief, we don't take a time out to ask that space of love, what should I do? Guide me.
Mm.
The second thing, what we don't do is we don't act on that goodness because we don't sometimes show courage.
Mm.
Even though we know what is the right thing to do, we will not act on it. So that means uh, the conviction, love, is in every heart.
Mm.
Every heart has that space of love. That's what Jaime felt. That's what Pastor felt.
Mm.
When the mind is peaceful, love, peace, compassion, respect is your nature. This education we have to smartly give
Mm.
to
Mm.
the whole population. Of course, then you will say, what about those terrorists? Yeah, they have crossed that point of education that you can call it de-radicalization. They are already radicalized. For them, it's a law enforcement, and that's not, this will not work there because they
Okay.
are radicalized.
Oh, so this will not work there. Okay.
At
Unless
least I think so. At least I think so.
they willingly come, right, and sit down.
Yeah, correct. You can't force it. But if you have
Yeah.
been radicalized,
Yeah.
okay, like
Yeah. You know, Manda,
the
something.
earth is the center and the sun goes around it.
Yes.
If this is the education you have been given, for 20 years you have been only looking at this, earth is in the center, 20, sun goes around. You've never done any science class, you have not done astronomy, you have not studied planets, you have not watched NASA TV, none of this, right? You're in some remote village and you have been taught this education. You
Mm.
can't change that person. He's brainwashed.
Yes. Yes. Sadly, sadly. I know.
Yeah, so that's where education is the only way to fix the problem.
Right, right. So I hope your vision of transforming these cities through this process of education will be so successful that we can finally say we have arrived at a place where we are meant to be as humans, isn't it? To be able to see each other, because what's happening now is beyond repair sometimes, Mandar. So
Yeah,
education
yeah, we
is
are.
critical. You're saying education is critical.
Yeah, I
I
think
want to
so.
quickly tell you something that happened in my life, Mandar. You know, October 7th is a defining moment. And I was really not happy with the global Muslim response towards what happened in the Middle East. So then I had a resolve to strengthen my commitment to confront hatred towards the Jewish people, extremism, and disinformation. Because in my eyes, because of the knowledge I had, I began to see Jews as refugees. They had gone through several programs, and I felt that that we are called people of the book, Al al Kitab, and we couldn't share a plot of land with our Jewish neighbors, with our Jewish brothers. So that divided our community, you know. How, most people don't agree with me, some don't choose not to agree. How do we bridge this huge divide that has divided people into two segments? When we all believe that the Jewish people and the Palestinians should thrive together. How do we bridge those huge divides?
Yeah, I mean, this is the reason why Gurudev Ravi Shankar ji is teaching many of us like me to heal yourself, become a teacher, and go spread this message of peace. So, whoever is listening to the podcast, this question that you're asking and the agency and the true caring that is behind this question, that is where a solution can begin.
Hmm.
Because now you're asking with a prayerful, we are genuinely asking. It's not fake. I feel it. I think that is where we have to collect people who are asking that question.
Wow.
And that's where, whatever, we can co-create something that neither you can do it alone, I can do it alone, Salima can do it alone, but together maybe we can. So
Hmm.
that is Sangha. That is what Buddha said. You have to find your people, find your tribe. Because there
Wow.
are many things that divide. At the end of the day, who cares how you pray like this? At the end of the day, you're going to die, my friend. You're going to die. I'm going to die.
Hmm.
People have died. Next generation will also die. This realization invokes my humanity every day.
Hmm. Wow. Thank you so
And there
much.
is so much that we can do while we are living.
Hmm.
There's no time to hate. That's
Yeah.
what is said in many scriptures, right? Love is the only way. There's no time to hate.
Hmm. True, true. Mandir,
So you can say this as a practical thing. If you get angry at someone, tell your mind, I will get angry tomorrow, not today. Today I want to live in love. I want to be in nature. I want
hmm.
to be happy. Anger tomorrow. We do the opposite. Anger now, love tomorrow.
True, so true. Yeah, I think our time is up, Mandar. I had in my mind to ask you to lead us in a short centering meditation, if in a minute or two, if you're open to that. If not, I would love to show the video that you have on about the work you're doing, and to get more people to say yes to peaceful cities. And as I discussed, I shared with you my vision. We need to take this to troubled areas where the conflict has taken over our capacity to love.
Whoever is listening, if you want to be in the mindset of let's come together and promote peace, compassion, happiness, and you don't know how,
Right.
then take 45 minutes, watch my movie. It is available. Whoever is listening, do your best
Hmm.
because every time you do something good, you are graduating from first grade to second grade. But don't just keep doing good, integrate meditation practice in your life for your own well-being.
Hmm.
Otherwise, many activists they get burnt out.
Right. Right.
because they don't care about themselves.
Yes. Thank you.
So learn a meditation practice, go to the Art of Living website, wherever you are in the world, including Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, Palestine, Israel, everywhere.
Mm.
There will be an Art of Living teacher. He or she will teach you these techniques that will change your life
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you, Mandar. You've done it. I've done it. I'm a witness. So now I'm called to speak the truth. Every word that you said is something that I strive and learn to live. I've been to the Art of Living in Los Angeles, in DC, wherever it is. I go in search of one. So I ask everyone to look for the center's Art of Living and go for a session. And I want to finish. Thank you, Mandar, again. It's so late. I'm so grateful
Thank you.
for
I
not
will just
only.
add one more thing.
Yes.
You don't have to go to a meditation retreat. Just go to your nearest ice cream parlor and have an ice cream. Maybe that could be a source of happiness for you that day.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be something big. Take a small child for an ice cream.
Oh.
That happiness is inside you. Sometimes we postpone it. Happiness is not in a retreat center. It is there within you only.
Mm.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yes,
Don't
definitely. Random
don't
acts of kindness.
postpone
Mm.
don't postpone having an ice cream or whatever it is that makes you happy.
Yes, true, true. I want to leave with these final words by Rabbi Hillel. He was the first century Jerusalem sage. He said, "What you say now, Ramander? If I'm not for myself, whom am I?" So that means he calls us to a higher level of living and giving. um, uh, when I am only for myself, what am I? So he says that you can't be by yourself, you can't be selfish, but you have to make those connections and do the work that you're called to do. And lastly, he says, and if not now, when? So the urgency is now, my friends. Thank you for watching. We will be with you next week with similar conversations, and join us. Thank you, Mandir, again. Thank you. Good night.
This time, gunfire aimed at elementary school children. There are 27 victims, 20 children, 7 adults.
Violent weekend in Chicago has left 11 people dead and 60 wounded in shootings across the city.
Then at 8:45, just a mile from City Hall, shots ring out.
The person who has influenced my life in terms of action more than anybody is Mahatma Gandhi.
I fear that I will bury one of my sons. I fear that.
A kid who had a bad childhood, who was in a lot of pain, and wanted the whole world to feel that pain.
One of my children dying, being brutally murdered.
being here in India for this time has been spaciousness to breathe and to slow down.
That's the rebirth, baby. So you come back to life.
Choose love.